Okay, we're back live. Let me apologize for that break. This is how it is in these parts. Sometimes the service, the network, sometimes not providing us with what it's supposed to provide us as it should, because I had the technician from the company here this week, and they said everything was okay because they came and checked the speed and everything, and I was getting what they call turbo speed, so I don't understand what's really happening. Okay, but let me move on. As I was saying, remember, as a entity, okay, we have a brain, or we have a mind, and we have a body, and the mind is what controls the body. Okay, so too we have to understand that each and everyone in this world have to play a role, and you can either play the part of the head, or you can play the part of the tail. You can either play the part of the brain, or you can play the part of the body, but it is your choice. Everyone has a choice, because each and every one of us were given that same power. Okay, now I'm gonna go on to verses 4, where it says, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. Now, as I said before, that him is just a personification that represents your own human imagination, which is the creator in everyone. And your imagination is being referred to here as a light. That is why I've been always telling you that the human imagination and the sun, they parallel each other. For without the sun, there is no life, and there is no light. And without imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And that is why I'm encouraging you to trust your imagination and use your imagination to create your reality consciously. And as a matter of fact, when we finish St. John chapter 1, when we complete St. John chapter 1 and we complete this whole teaching, then we'll do the practical. I'll go through the practical and show you how you can use your imagination to create your reality consciously, and how even to apply the elements and use the elements to create your reality consciously. Okay? So the life in you is the light, and that light is in everyone. And the power, which we refer to as God, is the same life, and it is the same light that the Bible is referring to. So you see, God and man are one. So you are God in a body, you are God in flesh, and you're having this human experience while you're still asleep in the dreaming the dream of life. But there comes a time when you be awakened out of the dream, and that's when you come to realize it's a dream, and that this vast world that you behold, it's all imaginary, it's all an illusion. And that will give you the faith to really trust in yourself, and to believe more in yourself, and to put that power that is within you to work. Now in verse 5 it says, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. So you have darkness and you have light. You have understanding and you have ignorance. Now when you come into this realm, which is the humanistic realm, you're born in amnesia, which is a state of forgetfulness. So you come into a world of ignorance. You come into a world where you do not know who you are. And your whole desire is to discover who you are, because you're seeking to know what is your true identity. But unfortunately, the system has been set up to rob us of our true identity. So what they teach us through the system is to keep us in that darkness, so that the darkness would not comprehend or understand the light or the life or the intelligence that is within. So they're robbing you of that intelligence that is within, and that intelligence that is within is what creates all things. And that's the intelligence in which you have to put your trust, in so much that you have to use this intelligence to give you whatever you desire in this imaginary world. That is why you have to believe 100% that imagination creates reality, and you have to put your imagination to work daily. You have to put your imagination to work morning, noon, and night. And you have to believe that everything exists in your imagination. You have to believe that the only God or the only creator there is your own imagination. The creator that is in you and the creator that is in everyone. And it is how you see yourself. It is how you accept yourself. It's the perception that you hold of yourself. So if you're holding a perception about yourself in terms of lack or in terms of limitation, if you have guilt and shame, if you have low self-esteem, if you have inferiority complex, or anything that brings you under the energy of fear, it is keeping you in darkness, so you would not understand or comprehend the life or the light that is in you that can create all things. Now, every one of us here, we've been taught to go to school, get good grades, and get a good job. But the money that you have to work for, that money, it was first imagined. It was first an idea. It was first a thought. Even when they print the money, it was first a thought. It was first an idea. The ink they used to print the money, it was first a thought. It was first an idea. Someone took it from its raw material and put it in that form so it can be used to print the money. Someone had to come up with the design. Someone had to even design the building that they print money. And it's all mental, it's all psychological. So when you grab hold of your mind power, you would have real power. You would have true dominion. So there's where the real battle is. The battle is for the mind. The battle is for you to live in fear. The battle is for you to doubt yourself. The battle is for you to go against yourself. That is why they use things to distract you from discovering your superpower. There are many YouTubers today speaking about the actor who died from the Black Panther, because they're looking to Hollywood stars and they're looking to people from the music industry and so on, and they look up to them as celebrities and they see them as heroes. But I'm saying to you that your real superhero is that power inside of you. And when you discover that power inside of you, you are to use that power to achieve your every desire. And that is how you will know that God and man are one, because your greatest teacher is your experience. That is why you have to use your imagination morning, noon, and night. And you have to make sure, write down your intentions. So when the prophecy is being fulfilled in your life, and you see the creation, and you say it is good, that you can come into your Sabbath. You can come into your rest, because you no longer have the desire for that thing that you once had the desire for, but now you see the creation. Now you see the manifestation. It is so simple. It's just like a man going into a woman, and all of that starts from a thought, and that thought brings a certain feeling, and then you act on that thought, and then you reach a high place. And when you reach a high place, you come to a place of satisfaction, and you are in the creative act. Many people understand that on the physical level, or on the sexual level, in the physical. But you have to see it also in the spiritual. That when you're creating, it's like having a spiritual orgasm. Because true enlightenment is a spiritual orgasmic act that you would experience. And I'm speaking from experience. You know, we all was expressing this earth. All the energy was flowing downwards. And we've been expressed from down here. But when you have the awakening experience, it flows upwards. That's why I'm writing that book called The Secret Vagina, to show you really and truly. We are back. So as I was saying, so as above, so below. As it is within, so is it without. Now, if you can understand that everything that has been taught in the Bible, it is a spiritual, sexual act that it is teaching you, so you'll be able to create your reality consciously, then you will come to understand that really and truly the Bible is your spiritual autobiography. You will come to realize that it must be interpreted psychologically. And then you'll understand why those who wanted to keep you in a perpetual state of mental slavery, why they interpret the Bible to you as if the Bible is literal, or as if the Bible is secular history. Now, you have to learn to exercise your mind. You have to learn to think for yourself. Because when you've been expressed here in this earth, it is said in verses 6 here in St. John 1, that there was a man sent from God whose name was John. When it speaks about John here, it is speaking about John the Baptizer. And when it speaks about John the Baptizer, it is speaking about the physical you that was baptized in water in your mother's breast, in your mother's womb, in your mother's womb. Because when you were in your mother's womb, you were in that basket surrounded by water. And you was having your first water baptism. For that's the real water baptism. Not a literal one that the religious ones want to give to you. And because that was your first water baptism, before you express here, your mother water bag had to burst. And then when your mother water bag burst, then the Red Sea started flowing again. Because the Red Sea was stopped in the time of pregnancy. That's when a woman become pregnant, the Red Sea stopped. And so she passed blood. And then the life, which is the expression of you. Now, the Bible refers to that expression, this outer expression of the soul as John, the baptizer, that would baptize the Christ. Because your higher self is behind all of this. So when others look at you, they're beholding your outer self, which is just the expression. But the real Christ self that was before this, that's the Christ. So it is showing you that this outer man, as it states in verse 7, the same came for a witness. This is just the signpost, to be a witness of the light. How could we say that there is a creator if we ourselves don't create? And how can there be a creator that has ears without your ears? And how can there be a creator who speak and it is not your mouth that speak? Now, there are many preachers who would say to their congregation that the Lord would have spoken to them. But many people never sit and think to ask them what they really mean when they say the Lord speak to them. If you say, Pastor, isn't it that it is your intuition that you're speaking about that speak to you? When you say the Lord speak to you, Pastor, it's your intuition you're talking about. If more people would come from the pastor and tell the pastor that he's speaking about his intuition when he said God spoke to him, if he's an honest pastor, you would have to accept the truth. Let me give you a joke. I saw a woman preacher, and someone on YouTube talking about the third eye, whether it's scriptural or if it's not scriptural, or whether it's evil, whether it's of God. And throughout the whole time, she just keeps saying, the Lord spoke to me. The Lord spoke to me. The Lord spoke to me to tell you. The Lord spoke to me to tell you. I didn't even listen to everything because I know right there, if anyone had any common sense enough to ask her, when she said that the Lord speak to her, if she's speaking about her intuition. Because it's the intuition they're speaking about. And the whole congregation would sit right there and hear a man saying, or a woman saying that the Lord spoke to them, and no one will ask them, who is the Lord that is speaking to them? It's their own mind. It's that small, still voice that we all hear inside of us that we say, you know, my spirit tell me. The spirit is you. That's God in you. That's the Jima in you. That is why when you go to bed, your eyes are closed, but you still can see when you're having a dream. You still can hear when you're having a dream. Your faculties are still there because God is the Jima in you. Having this earthly experience. So now this is a time of the awakening that we are understanding that John, as in John the Baptist, represent our outer man, and the Christ represent our inner man, and we understand the true baptism. We have to baptize ourselves in the truth, and the truth is self-realization. Is your real salvation. And when you understand that self-realization is the real salvation, you realize that you have the power that creates the world inside of you. Because it is said, by faith the world was created. And nothing could be created that wasn't forced mental or forced psychological or forced a thought. So the universe is mental. Everything is mental. If you are existing in this world and you do not understand the very first law of existence, you are at the level of the animals. If you are existing in this world and you do not know that imagination creates reality, you are vibrating at the level of an animal. It means that you're not utilizing speech and mind, because speech and mind is what makes us equal to the immortal. It is what gives us power and dominion over the animals, because they can't speak and think and reason like us. We are back. Okay, let me continue. Because we are the higher intelligence. Okay? Just bear with me with the cutting of the that's how the internet is in the Caribbean and so on, okay? So yeah. So we are the higher intelligence. So we have to grab hold of that intelligence and use that intelligence. When we refuse to use that intelligence, then instead of we use the power that was given to us, others will turn around and use that power to keep us trapped and to keep us controlled. That is why in this time, they came up with a pandemic for you to cover your face and for there to be less interaction. Because they know when you keep people divided, you will keep them conquered. But when you grab a hold of your mind and take authority as the divine infinite entity that is having a human experience, and you claim your mind power, then you can use your mind power to achieve your every desire. And that is why imagination creates reality. Everything that we depend upon in this existence, it was first imagined. Every billionaire in this world had a dream, they had a vision, they had a perception, and it became their reality. But these qualities or this understanding must be sown in you from a very, very young age. So if your parents would teach you from a very young age that imagination creates reality and teach you how powerful you are and teach you that you're the Lord and Master of your destiny, then you will be ahead. That's why there are men who are ahead of us, because they received this kind of knowledge when they were little children, while we were brainwashed to the school system, the political and the religious system. But this is the time we have to take back our power by taking control of our minds and realizing that thoughts become things. We are responsible for ourselves. All of us were given 24 hours in a day. And all of us was given a mind. So you have no one to blame but yourself. If you have the desire to become a millionaire, or to live a more satisfying, fulfilling life, all you have to do is be in the right frame of mind, the right way of thinking, and the right way of going to bed and waking up each day. And learn to rise before the sun and set your intention with the sun. And when the sun goes down in the evening, Job chapter 33 tells you to bring your instructions. And Psalm 4:4 tells you, that is Psalms chapter 4 and verses 4, okay? You must commune with your own heart upon your bed. And let me give you a little bit more of the secret. Matthew 6:6 tells you the same thing. He said you mustn't be like the hypocrites. They like to be seen and heard. They like to congregate in their social clubs. He said, but you You must go into the secret place. Because your Father, which is the inner power it is speaking about, know what you desire even before you ask. The power in you, which is the real you, which is God in you, know exactly what you want. And all you have to do is create that image in your mind. When you create that image in your mind, through using your imagination to be the creator in you, you have to believe that it will materialize and you'll be able to contact it by the 5 senses. That is why you must live in the end. By seeing yourself doing, having, and being that which you desire. So let me give you an example of how to use the light that is in you. Okay, but before we give you the example, let me just read verses 7 and 8. He said the same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light. So I want to show you how to operate in the light, that all men through him might believe. Okay, so you have to express the life of that light that is in you, so all to see. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that. Okay, of that was the true light. Okay, so we are here to prove to the world that God exists and that God is the creator in each and every one of us. So my brother and my sisters, if you have the desire for $100,000, instead of you imagine yourself just having $100,000, it is better for you to think about things that you would do were it true that you have this $100,000. So instead of thinking of the dream or the vision, see yourself living from the dream. So if one thing you're going to do, you're going to visit Disney World, see yourself at Disney World. See yourself touching things. See yourself speaking. Hear all I'm saying to you it is so wonderful. Isn't it wonderful? Being here at Disney, I'm just using that example, okay? If you want to stay, if you would stay at a luxurious hotel, if you have certain amount of money, see yourself staying at that certain hotel. Hear someone congratulate you of the steps you're making in life. When you do all these things, you're living from the dream. You're not thinking of the dream, you're living from it. Because you're playing the starring role in your own movie. You're not the one sitting in the audience looking at the movie. You are the producer and the director, and you are the star. You are the hero in your movie. So when you read the Bible, you're not supposed to see any other character but yourself. You are the character who's playing all of these roles. Because all of these characters represent states of mind. It's all about your mind. It's all about your perception. Because, for example, this Bible could not have been written, or any Bible could not, at all, could not have been written unless it was first a thought. It must first be an idea. Now, many people, religious people, say that holy men wrote as they were inspired by God. The man who invented the telephone, he acted as he was inspired by God also. Those who give you money as the medium of exchange, they did it while they were inspired also. So there ain't any special men or women who are inspired by a power that you do not possess. All of us have that power. So there's no hierarchy. There's no aristocracy. And that is why they hide the truth concerning how imagination creates reality from humanity. And the masses are living in ignorance. That is why they believe a man like me is crazy. My brother and my sisters, you might be sitting and listening to me and you understand what I am saying. But do you realize there are many people in my country who think I am crazy? Do you realize there are many people in my country, if I tell them of this Bible with no Jesus, they will say blasphemy. If you tell them that you're God in flesh, they will cry blasphemy on you. They will say crucify him. They would stone you with their mouths. So when you understand that everything that you're seeing around you is fulfillment of prophecy, you wouldn't make no preacher come and bring fear on you and telling you that you're living in the last days. Every person that comes on the face of this earth, from the very day you've been expressed from your mother's womb, you've been living in the last days. Because every second is a countdown to your exit. Because you have an entrance and an exit. And while you are here, you have to use your time wisely. Because you came here to learn how to create. So you will come back to remembrance. That you forget that you are God. By accepting the sleep of death in the form of a dream to have a human experience. Therefore, we had to born in total forgetfulness. But there comes a time we had to come to true remembrance. And that is why we have to learn to manifest consciously. No one in this world can tell me otherwise. I've used my imagination numerous amount of times in my life. Unconsciously. And when I experienced the reality, I thought it was a man in the sky who had helped me. I thought it was a man named Jesus 2,000 years ago that was helping me to achieve those goals. When I look back at them, I realize that I use my imagination. And no one can convince me otherwise. That imagination creates reality. Let me give you a little secret, my brothers and sisters. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 to 3. But if you read Habakkuk 1, verses 1 to 3, and then go over to Habakkuk 2, 2 to 3, you'll get even more out of it. It says, when you have the desire to create your reality, because you're in need, and you need an answer in your life, because poverty sucks. He said, write down the vision, man. Write it down. And he said, though the vision tarry, it's only for time. Because you need to understand the law of gestation. You need to understand your birth to your maturity. That's why he gave you the mustard seed principle. That if you have faith as a mustard seed, you see it grow into the largest tree you can behold. So he said you must write down the vision. And it would never fail. But you have to wait for it. You see, my brothers and my sisters, when you plant a seed, you're not supposed to be wondering about how or when it's going to grow. Your thing is to just sow the seed. A greater power will take care of the rain and the light that seed needs. And once the germ of life is in that seed, there will be a death, burial, and a resurrection. And it will bring forth much, much fruit. Do you realize when you saw thought of abundance, a thought to create your reality, when you believe that imagination creates reality, do you realize it's the same principle like when you sow a seed? So if you understand the law of farming, then you have to understand the law of reaping also. Just put that in a psychological way. And write down your desire according to Habakkuk. And put your imagination to work. You can't put your imagination to work and wondering if it's going to happen. Because it is going to happen. That is why you have to be careful what you wish. Don't use your imagination as an experiment. Because I'm telling you, my brothers, my sisters, this is real. All you have to do is just be patient. That is why verses 10 of St. John 1 tells you, he was in the world. Your imagination is always here. And the world was made by him, which is your imagination. And the world knew him not. People do not know themselves. People here, and many of them just existing, that's all. They eat, they sleep, they go to work, they go to the toilet, they go to the bathroom, and that is all they know. dissatisfied with life just the way the system serve it to them. But when you're a thinker and you learn to exercise your mind for yourself and you desire growth, you will ask yourself, who am I? Why am I here? And how can I serve humanity? So instead of you saying, what can your country do for you? Or what could your prime minister, your president do for you? You have to say, what can I do for my country? What can I do for humanity? How may I influence humanity? How may I help humanity? How may I uplift humanity? And then the answer will come to you that imagination creates reality. And if you look inwardly, you will find the answers of life because you are here searching for yourself. Instead of focusing and trying to change others, focus on changing yourself. Because you born here alone. And no one can have a thought for you. And that is why your mind is the greatest power you can possess. So when someone can control your mind and tell you if you don't wear a mask and style for yourself, killing yourself slowly, and you follow that, it means you're not in control of your own mind. It means you cannot even lead your own self. It means you are in the world, and the power that creates the world is in you, and you do not even realize that you and the universe are one, and that no one has any power over you. My brother and my sisters, if someone object against me towards when I speak about putting things over your face, right? I plan to do a separate video on that, okay? But let me just say this. Isn't it that the Bible said that God breathed the breath of life into man? So why you want to stop that breath by telling me to put on a mask? And I take in less oxygen. And when you breathe out all of the carbon dioxide, they're going back inside of you because you have on a mask. There's nothing healthy about wearing a mask. The environment and the air that we are to breathe in is to bring us in a place of comfort, joy, peace, happiness, contentment, and to remember when that breath leaves this body, which has been made from dirt, the dirt of the earth, it goes back to its farm. But the infinite cannot die. And how did I know that? Through having out-of-body experience, my brothers and my sisters. Through experiencing the resurrection, the birth from the skull, the real virgin birth. That's why I can sit here and share this message of truth to you and say to you that imagination creates reality, and that imagination is God in man, and you have to use your imagination to create your reality consciously. That is why the last time I was saying to you that you can take a money, just some money for the front, please. You can take money and you can create money consciously. Everything you can do, I have here I don't know if you've seen it clearly, a $100, okay, in our money. Is it okay? It's there? Okay, good. You see it clearly? Okay. I'm not seeing it clearly enough. Okay, I hope it, okay, I'm seeing it clearly, right? That's a 100 EC dollar. Okay, now you can look at the currency, you can smell it, because you can physically see it, you can physically smell it. Where did it come from? It was forcing someone's perception. Now, if they could have used their imagination to bring this creation, then you can use your imagination to bring this to you. So learn to study it. Get the distinct feel of it. Get the distinct smell of it. Love it. Appreciate it. And realize that the lack of money have many men in jail. Men don't go to jail because they have too much money. But what will cause a man to steal? What will cause a man to get involved in drugs? Lack of money. So my brother and my sisters, backline, okay? We are back. So as I was saying, money is spiritual. When you realize how spiritual it is to have wealth in your life, you would never embrace poverty. You would never embrace lack. And the reason I'm saying all of this, my brother and my sister, because I've come to realize that the Bible was used to keep people in poverty. And it was done by they teaching you to interpret this Bible as literal and as secular history to keep your black ass in poverty. So let's sell you the Jesus and Mary story. To keep you in stupidity and mental slavery. There is no man who ever existed 2,000 years ago that walked this earth that had a birth, a virgin birth from a woman's vagina 2,000 years ago. I know that's a damn lie. Because I know when I had the birth from here, and no one in this world could take that away from me. And there is no money anyone could give in this world to deny my experience. I'll share it with the rest of humanity till the day I live. That's why I know the upper room experience and the tongues that cloven fire over the head is the experience you will have when you bust your tongue chakra. And when you speak in tongues, when you speak in the universal language of consciousness. That is why our ancestors always taught, know thyself. Man, know thyself. Don't just speak from what you hear other people say. Experience is the greatest teacher. Okay, good. We're back. Okay, good. That's why I can tell you, John the Baptist is not a man 2,000 years ago. It's symbolic of this man. This is John, baptizer. is baptized with water. Just like the earth. Most of the earth is water. Most of the body is water and the rest is the skeletal framework. That is John. And you just had the John experience first. I could go into Mary and Elizabeth and all of that and show you. So many people, according to verses 10, they're living in the world and they do not know themselves. They haven't discovered themselves. They created self. So he said he was in the world and the world was made by him and the world knew him not. Many people do not know their own selves. They do not know that they are the creator. They do not know that it is their own damn thoughts that is creating their reality and that they can create their reality consciously. Every one of us have a personality and the personality comes from our thoughts. My brother, my sisters, let's just reason for a while. Do you realize everything that a preacher said to you from the pulpit, it had to first be a thought? It had to first be an idea? It had to first be imagined? Do you realize that the same mind the preacher have, you have a mind the same too? And do you realize, in spite of all of the kind of antics the preachers just carry on, you see how they just put on for show? And they have somebody playing like a piano or a keyboard and making certain noise to play with your emotion. And all they're really telling you is what to do and what not to do. And every action stems from a thought. So basically, it's the mind. Everything has to do with the mind. Are you such a child in your mind that a preacher have to tell you how to think? Do you realize the kind of respect that some people have for pastors? It are some men who normally go to church. If they know the pastor is going with their wife, you know, and the pastor have plenty of money, they keep quiet, you know. These men are not men, they're still little children. In their thinking, they haven't grown up as yet. So my brother and my sisters, there are different levels of consciousness. So the rich man, the poor man, the beggar man, the thief, it is just one mind. But just different arrangement of the same mind. We who the preachers can deceive and take our money, they will call us false. They will say that we are blaspheming. Because we are like a fly in their ointment. Because we are black in their business. But my brother, my sisters, a true shepherd will take care of the sheep first. And that is why I'm teaching you that God is in you. And you can use the power of God in you to create your reality consciously. If you accept that God is your imagination, and that imagination creates reality. That's why I'm pointing you always to look inwardly. Let me just read verses 11 of St. John 1 for you. He said, he came. You see, every time he say he and him, most religious people think it is speaking about a man 2,000 years ago. It's just a personification that represents your own imagination. Okay? He came unto his own, and his own received him not. Do you realize that the unpardonable sin, and sin is ignorance, okay? The unpardonable sin is self-doubt, self-hatred. When you hate yourself and you don't believe in yourself and you doubt yourself, no one can help you. When you've been indoctrinated to believe in a power outside of yourself, and you believe in a man 2,000 years ago, especially a man who doesn't even look like you, you are born in idolatry. And when you've been caught in idolatry, you're giving away your power. Because instead of you claim your imagination to be the creator, you are claiming another outside of yourself to be your creator. So when you deny yourself, that's the unpardonable sin, because no one can help it. That's what I mean. Because you have to redeem yourself. You have to save yourself. There is no Jesus who will go to the toilet for you. There is no Jesus that will go out. We're back live again. Okay. I apologize for the break, but that's how the internet down here normally works. Okay. Yes, there is no Jesus that will go into a 9-to-5 job for you. If you don't get up and get there, no one who can provide for you. That is why the Bible says the fool says in his heart that there is no God. When you meditate within yourself and believe in a God outside of yourself, you are the fool who says that there is no God, which means you don't believe in yourself. I remember one time I tried to speak to a man who was giving out checks. And before I could even explain myself, he called me a fool and he told me that the fool said in his heart that there is no God. And he inspired me was to do a video. Because I know he didn't understand that all the people who goes to church and believe in a God outside of themselves, they are the fool who say that there is no God because they do not believe in the God inside of themselves. They believe in some other God that was made up by man and given to them. True misinterpretation of the Bible. That is why those who are behind the whole coronavirus and so on, and those who've been influencing the world and keeping the people controlled, that is why they tell them that they're living in the last days and it's the fulfillment of prophecy, and they interpret revelation for them and infiltrate the churches, and all the preachers, they catch one another's spirit, and all of them saying the same thing. So when they see things happening, they say, oh, it's the fulfillment of prophecy. But the invention of the motor car was the fulfillment of prophecy. The invention of the telephone was the fulfillment of prophecy. The invention of money was the fulfillment of prophecy. Everything you do is fulfillment of prophecy, because everything begins with a thought, and imagination will create all reality. And consciousness is the only reality there is. You see, my brother and my sister, when you have an out-of-body experience and that consciousness exists, just like the wind that you're feeling, but you're not seeing the wind. then you will understand that you're spirit. Then you will understand that you're living in an imaginary world. It's not real. Nothing is solid. Everything vibrates. Nothing rests. Let me share something with you. On many occasions, when I'm using my imagination to attract something in my life, I will feel these vibrations. Because that what I'm imagining is vibrating back to me. But yet I haven't hold it as yet. I haven't contacted it as yet. But when it tells you that the word became flesh and we handle him, is when your reality, when your thoughts are your dreams, your goals, your imaginary acts, when they become hard and objective facts. That is why, let me just read verses 12 of St. John 1. That's why it says, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. Which means, those who accept their true self is who will be living in this earth as gods. So when he say here that you are the sons of God, it is you coming to understand your royalty. You coming to understand your power. You understand that the robe belongs to you. The fatted calf belongs to you. The ring belongs to you. Because you realize in your father's house there are many mansions. The infinite states of consciousness. And is what state of consciousness you choose to live in. So if you want to live a life feeling sorry for yourself, but if you want to live a life of abundance, you're told to give and it will come back to you. Good measure pressed down, shaken together and running over. Shall men give into your bosom? That is why I'm encouraging you to give of your time, your talent, your ability towards the betterment of all of humanity. My brothers and sisters, let me just share something else with you. You see this money I'm holding here? When I'm going to shop and I'm going to invest my money, I'm not going to spend my money. I'm going to invest my money. If you're going to pay bills or anything like that, you fold your money like this. With these two parts facing you, looking back to you. Because you're circulating your money and it's going to come back to you. It's like a circle. Do not pay your bills that you have to pay to Caesar with fret and worries. Do it lovingly. Cooperate with them. Why they just keep lifting your frequency? Because you understand your real money, your real currency is your vibrational frequency. Because everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, and you are money. You are money. Use it wisely, circulate it, as I said, fold it like this. With these two ends pointing back to you. So you see it coming back. So they want to charge you for water? Pay them. They want to charge you for light? Pay them. All the things that the governments around the world charging us for, they got given to us for free. The sun is giving us all of its energy for free. But they give us, they say, which is start being manifest, and all of us have that power. They give us this as the medium of exchange. But this is not the real thing. The real thing is here. So use this first. And that will come after. So my brother, my sister, put your abilities to work, believe in yourself, so that you will live as a true son of God, showing you sonship, heirship, and inheritance. Abundance is your birthright. It's your natural state of being. Don't embrace poverty. Most black people who go to church, they always embrace poverty. They think that it is wicked and evil to have plenty money. But when you know that imagination creates reality and you can create money consciously, you will never worship money. You will make money worship you, because you will come to realize that you are the master of money. Money is not your master, because your real currency is your thought frequency. That is why you have to beam your thought frequency out into the universe to return back the harvest to you. Let me just finish reading verses 12 of St. John 1. But as many as receive him, which is receiving yourself, the higher self, your imagination to be the creator inside of you, to them gave he the power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. Name here is speaking of identity. The name here is I am. That's the name of God from generation to generation. It's a memorial. And that is in Exodus chapter 3, where it tells you that you are Moses, because Moses means to be born. You are the one who be taken out of the water. You was in a basket. When you was in your mother's womb, surrounded by water, and you were taken out, you were drawn out of the water. And you come over into this dimension and find yourself in slavery, whereby your body is a slave to your mind. And the system is Pharaoh, that want to keep you in a negative self and control you and enslave you. But the day will come when you will escape from the system, because you ask yourself, I. So when you read Exodus chapter 3, it is teaching you about the universal question of life. And the universal question of life is, who am I? Because you're seeking to find your name, which is your identity. You're seeking to have a change of name, because you're Jacob the supplanter. But when you have that change of name or change of character, you'll be called Israel. Because Israel means to rule as God. Because you fought and fought and fought with an angel, a thought, a dream, a goal, and you never let go until you get the blessing. And when you get the blessing, you get a change of name, a change of character, a change of mindset. Let me just read on to 13, because I believe I'm coming on close to a close. So it says here, let me read back from 11 coming on to 13. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which I said to you already, your name is I am. And the him here, it is speaking of your imagination, okay? Which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. You're the ones. When you start having a change of mind, a change of thinking, it is like until you starting to come to that place of having a new birth. Because it's teaching you that you will not discover your higher self if you dwell in the realm of the water and the blood and of the flesh, where you dwell in the fleshly realm of this human experience. But when you come to the discovery of your higher self, and you understand that it is your own thoughts that is creating your reality, and that you're responsible for your thoughts and your actions, then you start recognizing your God self. You start recognizing your higher self. And when you start recognizing your higher self, you put the wisdom and the power to work in your life. And that is how you will become a witness that truly there is a creator, that truly there is a Lord and Savior. And then you come to realize that the Lord and Master of your destiny is you. And then you will realize that the devil is your own self. Your lower self, your negative self is the devil. So everywhere in the Bible I speak about the devil, is speaking about your negative thoughts. That is why no religious people can tell you anything about the devil except that it's something that is negative. And they have to speak it. Because there can be no action that was a false thought. So let me just finish up here at verses 14. I think when I reach verses 14, I'll come to a close here. He says, and the word, you see what I was telling you? That you are that word, that expression. And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us as we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Let me explain that for you. The word among here is a mistranslation. Dwell within us. It should be within us. You see, they use words to make you believe that there is a power or a God or a creator outside of yourself, and have you looking in the sky, believing that there's a man up in the sky looking down on you who love you, but yet he wants to punish you and send you to a hell. It's all a lie. It's all about you recognizing your higher self so that you will be able to overcome your lower self, which is of the flesh, and to come to understand that it is your own thought that is creating your reality, and that the word do becomes flesh, which means the words, even the words from your mouth, they will materialize because thoughts become things. So when it says here that the word becomes flesh, it is teaching you that even you is the other expression of the Spirit. So to all the material things, they are the expression of the Spirit. So they are all spiritual also. Which I would have said to you before that money is spiritual. And we beheld the glory. That is how we would know. By we beholding the manifestation. And this is how we also is beholding our expression. as the only begotten, because out of millions and millions and millions of sperm that was discharged by our Father, you are the chosen one. You are the only begotten Son. You are the one that received that cosmic light and have that expression here. And you are the one who will experience grace and truth, which means you're going to experience unmerited favor, unconditional love. Because when you understand who you are, and you understand the power of your mind, and you realize that you can create, and that God have no mouth but your mouth, God have no nose but your nose, God have no ears but your ears, and you realize that God is the very life in you, and you can't separate life from God or God from life. When you understand that, you will keep focused, looking within yourself to find the phenomena of life. And you will become so grateful. You will all be living in a place of gratitude, a place of thanksgiving because of what you have discovered. So righteousness is not something you attain by any works you do. It is a discovery because you were searching for yourself, and when you search for yourself and you find yourself, you find God, and when you find God, you find the truth, and when you find the truth, you find the truth within yourself, and you'll be able to say, I am the way, the truth, and the life, because the way is within you, the truth is within you, and the life is within you. And you could never say I am and not referring to yourself. So my brothers and my sisters, it is high time, because I'm going to end right here at verses 14. Okay, next we can continue from verses 14 and go down. Okay, and at the end, we'll go through, at the end of St. John chapter 1, we're going to go through some practical imaginal acts and so on. Okay, I'll do some demonstration and so on. We'll do them together and so on, and you practice them home until you can actually even give your own testimony that what I'm saying is the truth. All I want is testimonial. I never ask for tithes, I never ask for offering. Preachers, let them do that. Okay, because they're running a business based on fair, but I am giving you love. And the true shepherd will take care of the sheep first. Okay? Now, so when you understand that your real name and your real identity is your I amness, you can't help but be thankful. You can't judge and condemn people. I am just using church and preachers because this is where I grew up and where I was indoctrinated, and many people want to help those who are still trapped in secular Christianity, but they don't want to use the Bible to help them. But it was the Bible that was used to brainwash them when it was misinterpreted to them. Therefore, we have to interpret the Bible to make sense to them, to help them. Okay, when they've been helped, then you could probably speak to them about Kemet and Egypt, and you could do all of that afterwards. But those was not the things that were taught to them to enslave them. Okay, the Bible was misinterpreted to them. And many people are fooling themselves when they want to throw away the Bible and they want to condemn the Bible. No, make sense of the Bible. That's all I'm saying. Make sense of it. If your enemy come to you with a sword, and you could take away the enemy's sword and cut off the enemy's neck, you will be more of a valiant warrior more than anything else. That's the story of David and Goliath. The system is the Goliath. Take what the system use on you and switch it around. You have 5 stones. You have 5 senses. Apply them in the spiritual realm. In the 6th sense, I hit them back right here. We hit Goliath right here. Because what Goliath wanted to do, take your life away from you, cut off your head. When they have you can't think for yourself, they're cutting off your head. And they have you living in the humanistic realm. But we using this, their own soul, to cut off their head. When I say their head, the system that they're ruling over the people with fear. So my brother, my sisters, before I end here, let me say this. We all came into this world to experience death, so we have to learn to embrace death. But while we are here, we have to live our life to the fullest. Live our life to the fullest. Everything around you is spiritual. Money is spiritual. Don't just look at all of these big buildings and think that the people who own them, that they are greedy. No. They're just thinking at a higher level than you. Because we were raised in church to think at a very low level. So while the preacher getting rich, he telling you there's going to be a rapture. But he not sell out all he have, eh? He keeping all of his wealth. And when he get older, he passing it on to his children. But he telling you a rapture gonna come. He telling you war coming to an end. He telling you Jesus coming for you. But he not sell all that he have. And wait. He want more and more and more and more. We see the Creflo Dollars and we see the Kenneth Copeland. We see all of these kind of men. And they're teaching what we be teaching here. But they're hiding behind the church system and talking about Holy Ghost and Holy Spirit and talk about Jesus and using all that kind of bullshit to take the people money. But they're teaching exactly what I'm teaching here because from Creflo Dollar own mouth, and you could go and you could check it out for your own self. Creflo Dollar have a message called Imagination to Manifestation, yes. I did a video on it already. Imagination to manifestation. You listen to Creflo Dollar with that. Don't say, you see some people that want to say things about these men and they don't listen to them. Listen to what he say. Well, he uses imagination to get the things that he have. And he and his wife. And he said, when they want to buy a certain property, and they use their imagination, and they want to sell them for a different price, they said to them, the Lord didn't tell me that. So if the person was calling for, say, 200,000, and Creflo Dollar wanted to pay 180,000, he said, the Lord didn't tell me I'm paying 200,000. The Lord tell me I'm paying 180. Yes, and he hold on to that and he believe in that until the person end up and give him for that price because he said he believed and that's what he was believed in. But he was speaking about the imagination. At one point he said, then it really dawned on me, but all the time he's telling them, but they can't see it. So my brother, my sisters, let us join together, continue this kind of Bible study and use the knowledge to help our brothers and sisters. We are family members. They still chopping organized religion. They need your help. Okay? But we have to learn to use that power that we have to manifest. So even if they don't believe in you, they will believe in the material thing that will see that you manifest. It will help them. Because don't make no one fool you. Everyone wants to live a comfortable life here. Everyone wants to live a satisfying life. Everyone wants to enjoy some form of abundance in their life. Nobody wants to walk around hungry and walk around in poverty. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to live in the slums and the ghettos and so on, okay? Everybody wants to live in a nice, quiet area. And you know how good it is when you can afford the things that you want in this life, my brother, my sister, that you don't have to worry, you don't have to fret when you live this kind of truth. This kind of truth is what saved me from worries and problem and frustration, suicide, all of these negative things. Everything you could think about. And I faced all of these things because I grew up in the church system and I was blind by the church system. That is why my brother myself use every ounce of energy that I have to teach you. And I feel so good that I'm doing it online. There's no collection back. No collection back. Okay? So my brother, my sister, I really want to thank you very much, and I want to encourage you to use your imagination before you go to bed. Use your imagination in the morning. Use your imagination everywhere you go. Find a quiet time, even if it's 2 minutes. Spend quiet time with yourself. Use your imagination. See yourself having been and doing that which you so desire. It gonna come to you. Look, let me just say this. You see this chair I'm sitting in here? I remember when I had an old plastic chair that used to come and sit and do my video. Okay? And I saw this kind of chair in a show window. Okay? And I desire to get it. And I have it here right now. I couldn't believe the short space of time I manifest this. At the time I was doing my 153 magic code. And look at here. Plus the many things I can tell you about. I can remember even before I did this Bible, 66 books of magic. My brother, my sisters, when you use your imagination to manifest, the idea is going to come to you. Sometimes people looking for the manifestation just like that. No, the idea is going to come to you about what to do. That's why you have to trust your intuition. You have to trust God. You have to believe in God. You have to embrace God, because God is your imagination. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I really want to thank you very much. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and we're looking forward for next week again to have another lovely Bible study, a Bible study with a difference to discover your magical self. Thank you all very much. Peace. Love you all. I'm out.